Hello, hello. We are live and I see Electronics Tech ET is in the house. How are you doing today? Good to have you back. I remember you from before. So we got a really interesting topic today. We're going to talk about covert narcissists, also new supply. I've noticed on all the different analytics that I have on my channel, a lot of us are searching for information on this new supply. Also, covert seems to be more of the topic than overt. Overt is where you can really tell that somebody is a narcissist. You just see it outright. We're also going to talk about how they treat their children because a lot of times things are hidden. So let me know how you guys are doing, certain things that you guys want to talk about. And I took my glasses off. I see you just sent me a message. I was so blind. I hate it. um, Yes, John is okay. So, did he message you or oh, that's right. That's right. That's how I know you. Good. I'm glad you joined us. Is John with you? I'm kind of thinking no. I'm kind of thinking you just joined us. I forgot you are his friend Alicia and he's having tech problems. That's what I kind of figured. So it's good to know that he's doing good. And Alicia, right? And I'm saying it the correct way. Um, so thanks for joining back. He's really missed on this channel. He's been such a good supporter. I get a little down when I open my messages and I don't see him, but I know he'll be back soon. So the covert narcissists, though, those really hide who they truly are. They pretty much show it to the people that are close to them, or they'll do things underhandedly so you don't even know that the abuse is happening. They can sabotage your job, sabotage your relationships. He can't sign in right now. Aw, I know he misses us. So thank you for that. Yeah, he's definitely missed too. He's such a kind-hearted person. He's a true sweetheart, tender heart for animals, and glad that you got to know him. I think he's pretty lucky to have you in his life too, and that's what's really nice. We can help each other, and we got to be careful of who we end up friends with, but yeah, he's a keeper, definitely. And Melissa is here. Hi, Melissa. We have a great topic today about the covert narcissist, new supply, and also how they treat their children. I know, I believe it was you that was asking about spoiling our children. And sometimes when we overdo that, we're actually creating narcissists. So even people with the best intentions, it's not always like the abuse, such as, uh, you know, hitting or severe things. But sometimes when we spoil our child or make all the decisions for them, that we're kind of stealing their learning opportunity. I know I get on the kids a lot at school when you're supposed to raise your hand and then the teacher calls on you, and that's that child's time to learn, and these kids keep stealing that person's opportunity to learn. And in a sense we're kind of doing that too. But like the covert narcissist, for example, they could want to live vicariously through their child. So they're going to push that child into a certain sport that they might not be interested in. And also, if they go to a baseball game, they can be in front of other people. They're like, yeah, talking to the coach. Yeah, I know he tried his best, maybe better luck next time. And then they yell at the kid when they get home. So everybody else sees the supportive parent, but then the child sees a whole different person. So he got a new hamster and named her Miri. Ooh, very cool. Yeah, he's gonna run out of names one time. He's got so many animals. That's cool. I bet he's happy. Too much spoiling is passive abuse. Sometimes, in a sense, it's the parent where they just don't want to deal with the issue where the kid might be crying or demanding certain things, so they give in. Also, spoiling might be to show off or to make up for what the parent missed out. So let's say I grew up and I didn't have any fancy birthdays, and I will over the top do it for my child, and the child becomes accustomed to that. So when they go out in the real world and let's say they have an average income husband, they're going to be upset that it's not over the top, and it's kind of setting a stage for failure. So in a sense, oh yeah, I guess in a way it's abuse. It's failure. I'll call it failure. Failure to do the right thing. So sometimes we want the best for our children, but if they're always wearing designer jeans, that maybe that becomes their identity. So we kind of take away from what their true identity will be, or the need for them to build their true identity. And Melissa's asking how everybody's doing and how are you doing? Um, so Melissa says hi, and ET is doing okay. Alicia, our friend. Um, so I guess on the other side of the state, we're getting a bunch of snow. Hopefully, you guys are in a safe area where they just had a bunch of tornadoes. So I have some friends that were pretty close to that. A friend's barn got destroyed terribly. So a lot of crazy weather going on. And um but as far as the new supply, a lot of us wonder, is this new supply better? And the thing is that I talk about that pendulum starting to swing and things getting out of kilter. And that's when the devaluation, we're kind of like grasping. I relate it to a drowning victim. I took a lifeguarding classes, and they warn you that the person drowning, even though you're saving them, will like kind of try to climb up you and drown you, because they're so concerned about their own life, that we get to a part where we are grasping, trying to figure out what's going on. We get a little pushy sometimes, or fed up and fight back. But the narcissist really doesn't stop. They would rather um move on, or they get tempted by something shiny and new. And with the new supply, it's just a different person. They might have more friends, they might have more money, they might have whether age. So the narcissist will stroke their ego, whether they want an older person, or like a more mature person, or they have the beauty of the younger person, whatever they need. But as far as the person themselves, like, I am not seeing a difference in quality of people that they go for. A lot of times they do go for quality people, because those are the empathetic people. Those are the people that are more forgiving. But it's really sad how they move so quickly. And the thing is when we think about the new supply, do they love them more? They don't. They have a certain depth of capacity, and you can relate it to um, kinda like children with a babysitter. They might like one a little bit more than the other, but it's just a babysitter. And that's kinda what the new supply is, somebody to fill that caretaker position. Um, but with the covert, a lot of times they start feeling, and I told you they have a need they have to discard because of their growth process that they went through as a child, that they have to break free from the mother figure. And whether it's male or female, they have to break free from this to kind of finish growing. They're trying like their body feels off because of what their brain is doing, and the communication within their brain and their thought processes are so different that they're miserable. Misery loves company, so they try to bring us down. When we get brought down, we don't like it, because we weren't miserable people and we want to get back to feeling who we are. The different chemicals in the brain, the need to overcompensate, and everything within that narcissist brain thought process that um you too. Thanks for joining us. Thank you for joining us. Have a nice night. You too. Thank you. Say hi to John if you see him. Thanks for joining in. It's nice to have an update. So I'll definitely pass that along to everybody. And Melissa, is there something that you would like to focus on today? I know sometimes with borderline and also the spoiling, sometimes too, if we were spoiled, we kind of expect certain things. And the things I started doing a different topic for tonight. I was going to talk about um, the things in everybody's past, how that relates to how we say things, how we do things, our expectations. And Mia, hi. John's friend Alicia just joined us, and she said that John's doing good. So I believe she just logged off, but it's nice that she joined us. Let me get you guys into live chat instead of top chat. I wish the default was live chat so I could see everybody's post right away. Um, but how are you doing? How are you doing? And, you know, just like the spoiling part, being too overprotective is abuse. It is. I was sheltered big time, way too overprotective, and I am so naive on things, and it's pretty sad how naive I am. Um, very, very sheltered. When I was just around 8 years old, my dad got extremely, extremely over the top religious. And, as far as being able to do anything, get my ears pierced, go on dates. Okay. Come back when you can. I know there's power outages a lot of different places. I've seen that. I've had friends who are traveling for spring break. They're not going to be back till Tuesday. My mom on the other side of the state said there's a lot of snow going on. I think it's just cold. I haven't looked outside in about 2 hours. We haven't had snow yet, but, log in when you can, log in when you can. So, um, and so you can relate to what I'm saying, and it gets, like, frustrating. A lot of times too, you see, your good religious girls, sometimes boys, but they, are rebelling, like the pastor's daughter, for example. A lot of times they will uh, rebel because they are more controlled. So if they had some freedom, maybe they wouldn't go and not all do that, not all do it. But um, we try to get that balance and, you know, uh also depends too how afraid of your parents are, if you're gonna break the rules, how much you can get away with, but, sometimes it squashes things. Either you're not trusting, because you were taught in a sense, that you're not allowed to date because this or that, and, boys are bad and all that stuff. But then I get out there in the real world and I've had a hard time with men. It's like if you don't put out, they don't want to deal with you. So, I also know like just little things like my mom kind of freaked out. We were driving over a bridge and she was like screaming for my dad, be careful, we're on a bridge. And so I don't like bridges. Also, going in the ocean. Um, my dad was super uptight about that. And we could go, like to our knees. But I get that too, but sometimes some of our fears are little things like that, little things we grew up with. And Melissa, how would it have affected you? I know I don't enjoy television. I don't really enjoy movies. I can go to them. I enjoy movies more than just sitting at home watching TV because my dad was so religious that we weren't allowed to watch anything, even G-rated movies. And it was always, analyzing it, why we can't see it, the evil stepmother, why do they have to make her evil? And, Lion King, all the different, certain animals represented certain races and all that kind of stuff. Like he got deep into it. And the thing I noticed too is a lot of times, you know, kids don't really get what the movies say. And I know Disney likes to do that a lot. They have a lot of adult humor sometimes mixed in with it. I remember I really wanted to see Grease with Olivia Newton-John and John Travolta. And I'm like, what's the big deal? Like, why is my dad so uptight about it? And we went to see it and we walked out in the middle. I was so mad because I just wanted to be Olivia Newton-John. I was hopelessly devoted to her. But in high school, we had to watch it for acting class. And I was like, oh, I see all the innuendo. So, um, yeah, but as far as, like, television, my dad would always come in and get really upset. Even things like Family Ties where it was a husband-wife just giving a basic kiss that I wouldn't have a problem even giving my grandpa a kiss like that. Nothing sexual, it was just, but, why they gotta put that crap on? So, we always turn the TV off because it got bad, and it affects your life. I mean, I'm 52 years old, and I still really don't watch TV, you know? That I get too frustrated. I do like Friends. I've been watching Friends reruns, little snippets, so I don't have the patience for full television shows or movies, not really. I like, educational stuff, but, being too protective, yeah, you know? Um and that was back I was born in the '70s, and, today's day and age is a lot more dangerous. So you say you were also sheltered and your mom is a codependent. Yeah, so, um, that makes it hard. Yeah, and it happens, like, when you're with a narcissist. It was interesting, I did a little more research on, can a codependent be a narcissist? And Debbie is here. Hi to Debbie. Good to have you here. And great topics today. So feel free to join in if there's something specific you would like to talk about. We just had Alicia join in and tell us that John is doing okay. Um, but um, what was I going to say? Just read my mind. It's easier. Um, what was I going to say? We're glad to have you here, Debbie. um, but sometimes living vicariously through our children, we might think that, I always wanted to be a gymnast. They're going to love this. They don't necessarily want to live it. And if you don't listen to the child, that, um, you know, a- maybe have them try it, but if they really don't like it, are we kind of in a sense wasting their time that they could be developing skills in something that they would enjoy? A lot of times the things you're good at, you enjoy, and you can flourish when you're doing what you enjoy. Also, that gives you more motivation and dedication. And that can be quite selfish when you're like, no, gymnastics would have been great. I know some of us want our kids to be disciplined, so maybe certain sports might show that. Um, but it's sad when parents do try, like, they try to give their child the world, and this is where the balance comes in, where we have to be emotionally healthy, because if you think about it, let's say I grew up and I didn't have the designer jeans and, crummy tennis shoes, and we didn't live in a nice place, and, our car wasn't all that good, so I felt self-conscious. So I'm gonna make sure my child has the best life possible. So I'm overcompensating because of what I was lacking. If I would have just somehow, built up self-esteem, like, does it really matter what kind of shoes and pants I wear? I'm thankful that I'm clothed, or I just have clean clothes. That if you're whole, you're not going to overcompensate. So even little things like that are little things that affected us. Or we were never allowed to do sports, let's say. So now you're going to overdo your sports. Sure, you can do hockey and football and cheerleading and this and that. And then we overload the child's schedule because of what we lacked. And that's why the balance can even be on little things like that. Whether, food, whether we felt food insecurities, maybe now we always make too much food or snacks available, or we try to squash how much they eat and things like that, to where our shortcomings can affect a child. That's why it's really good to get back to where you need to be as soon as you need to be. I know what I was saying. I was talking about the covert narcissist. Can a codependent be a narcissist? And the thing is that the codependent needs basically to heal someone, and they become dependent. Now the narcissist, in a sense, it gets confusing because it seems like they're dependent on the supply. We're dependent on that one person. We don't want to leave that one person. We freak out if that one person leaves. But the narcissist, they can find supply so easy that the connection isn't there. So they're dependent on supply, but they don't need us. We kind of, in a sense, need them. And are we narcissists? We might interact with reactive abuse, and it seems like we are a narcissist, but if you think about it, if you were gonna punch somebody, that person's gonna punch you back most likely in a severe fight, life or death kind of thing. They're not gonna just take it. But is that person fighting back? Are they a bully? Because they beat this other person up. They had no desire to be a bully, but they had to fight back. So Are we narcissists? We're just fighting back. So hopefully we don't get in those kind of situations where we do the reactive abuse, whether it's verbal or physical. Um, but that doesn't say what our personality is, just like that person fighting back in that physical fight. They're not a bully. They're not trying or wanting to hurt that person. So it does matter who starts the situation. A lot of times too, once you get into these long-term relationships, who started it? And we have to be careful too. I was talking to a certain viewer, and he's like, well, yeah, I did this, I did that, and it's reactive abuse. And the thing is there comes a point where we can become abusive. Like the things he was during like down calm times. So his brain chemistry, he also did admit that he struggles with some mental illness, but the brain chemistry that we go through the CPTSD, sometimes we get pissed off. Sometimes we do want to react to that. And there are times that we can be the bully, we can be the instigator. And, um, just like my degrees in criminal justice. So, like, if somebody is trying to attack you, but once they walk away, they basically stopped it. And if you keep going after them, you're instigating it or encouraging it. But, um, so I know I did a poll, and let me know what you guys are hoping to hear tonight. There's so much to understand about, the things that we've been through, the things that have molded us, the way we react to things, why we stick through these things. And the hardest part about the covert narcissist is so much of it is unseen. So we try to make logical decisions. We're also quite trusting a lot of times. And the narcissist just keeps reassuring us that they apologize, sometimes they cry, the love bombing stuff, and also the memories in our head, it can be really good. But is it real? And that's the thing I want you guys to understand. It can be really good, but is it real? And you go on vacation, it's fantastic. You love being on vacation, but it's not real. That's not what you're living. It's a moment in time. And that's how I explain what a relationship with a narcissist is. It's an altered reality that you enjoyed. And also, I've given the example of, I could dress up as Princess Diana and, just act like royalty or whatever, and just, paparazzi chasing after me if I looked more like her or whatever, just living this alter ego. And um, I kind of experienced that a little bit when I was in China. I'm 6'1" and my hair was a little bit lighter then, but 6'1" blonde. And we went to this area. It was like Hawaii shaman in China. And those locals had not seen in person Americans. And it was like I was a celebrity. It was unbelievable. Like people running up to me, wanting to have pictures with me, and just the faces, and like you felt like a superstar. But was I really a superstar? It was not reality. Um, but when the narcissist lives that uh, happy life, it doesn't feel real to them. It gets them after a bunch of time. Either like if I stayed in China, I would get used to that. I would get used to that. And I would just smile like I'm starting to get sick of all these pictures. And there becomes a shift that, the narcissist is in this beautiful world, but it's not their world. Their world is misery. And they just want to get back home. They wanna get back home to that misery. They want to break free. They need that, 5'9.5". Ooh, so you're kinda close. I'm still taller. I'm a giant. That's nice though. Not a lot of women are that tall, and I think it's so funny that I'm Dutch. Dutch people are the tallest people in the world. The average Dutch man is 6 foot tall. I'm 6'1". I am taller than the average tallest man. If that makes any sense. Like, geez. What is the average woman? It's like 5, is it 5'4" or 5'6"? I can't remember. It changes, but let's see what that is. So I like that you're nice and tall. That's fantastic. Do you like wearing heels? I like wearing heels, but I don't like being around people when I do it. And I'd wear more skirts and things like that. I like heels with skirts and dresses, but I really do. I'm like 6'5", 6'6" with heels, and it's just overpowering for people. It's also hard to like bend over and hear them. What height is the average US woman? Um, let's see. What's it varies around the world. The average, they make you look up so many different things. 5'4". It is 5'4". Jeez, that's insane. You have dark blonde hair and blue eyes. Ooh, I got a twin. Oh, yay. That's exciting. Oh, I love hearing that. And this is what's kind of crazy is, with the narcissist, a lot of times they will go and find a replacement that's very similar to their parent, their mother. Um, so you're just like me. You are just like me, Melissa. That's cool. Are you Dutch? Probably, I don't know. Dutch, German, or Swedish? What are you? You're something. You're something like me, European somehow. And what is it? I forgot now. I saw 2%. I think 8% of Americans or 2% of the world have blue eyes. And supposedly, Melissa, this is kind of interesting. Supposedly, all people with blue eyes are related. Somehow, we are all tied to that one gene. I think they says 10,000 years. I can't remember. So, Melissa, you and I somehow could probably trace back our um, genealogy to each other, which is kind of neat. Did you know also cats with blue eyes and white hair, 80, 85% of them are deaf if they're born with blue eyes and white hair. That's kind of just something to know about cats. So, thank you for being my twin. And what's weird is my sister was almost named Melissa. My mom almost named my little sister Melissa. I like that name. Um, but I'd like to answer some of the questions that you guys are having. There's so much I can talk about on this topic, but you know, um, we have to not have so much guilt on the things that we've done. Take it as a learning lesson. And I've been posting some videos that are trying to start helping us branch out. I'm starting a new channel that deals with healthy relationships. This one, I'd like to continue with the mental illness and the things that we're struggling with. Dog Defender is here saying, please hit that thumbs up. That definitely helps. John's friend Alicia joined us, and she says John's doing good, just still having some technical difficulties. And I had it again yesterday. I made a killer, a killer shiller video and posted it. I'm like, I know this is a good one. I'm gonna see how it's doing. Yeah, I used my little microphone and it cut out. So it was a silent video. I need to do some Charlie Chaplin kind of things because I took it down. I think Alicia already logged off. But yeah, I know John's probably wishing he could be here. And Mia is here. She has a power outage, so she's going to come back hopefully. But dog, how have you been? How have you been? Um, a lot of things to talk about tonight, and that's one nice thing that's about the live chat is I can help you guys with what you're going through today. Or um, I know a lot of people are really concerned about this new supply, and those are some of my top videos about the new supply. I did a video on the new supply, and it's not pretty. Like, I got insider information on what this new supply goes through, and it doesn't mean that they're with um, that all of a sudden now the narcissist is faithful. Um, they're still hiding things, and the narcissist, it's so insane the things that they lie about. They are so trivial, unimportant to lie about. Just like if I asked you guys, what'd you have for dinner tonight? And you're like, spaghetti. And I don't care if you had spaghetti or macaroni and cheese. Like, why do you need to lie about it? Um, and I will tell him hi. I'll tell him hi, and Alicia, when she logs back in, I did tell her to say hi, but specifically from you, I just said hi from everybody. So he'll be joining us soon. I think somewhere after the third, he'll be able to log back in. Melissa says part German. I had a feeling German was there. Swedish, maybe Poland, Alaska. Ooh. That's interesting. Dog says we miss wow, I missed a lot. I meant to be here. Unfortunately, up all night, so ended up oversleeping. I feel you, girl. I slept till 3 o'clock yesterday, 1 o'clock today, I think 1 o'clock the day before. That's all I've been doing is sleeping. Um, the one thing that kind of gets me down, remember how I tell you guys about the object's emotion stay in motion, and that's why we have to really commit to our emotional healing. One thing I notice with me, it gets me kind of down. I have a lot of energy. I like to keep going, but I don't like downtime. That's what always drove me crazy in school. Having to line up and having to be quiet and having to this and that. I like to keep going and getting things done. I'm not a perfectionist. I wish I was, but I'm not. But so when I'm uploading these videos, sometimes I have to take away watermarks or sometimes I have to fill in all these little things. There's quite a bit to it. And then you got to wait for it to upload. Even when I'm doing my long form content, sometimes it takes 10, 15 minutes to upload and it kind of ties up my computer. So I try and do it on the, do some shorts, but I hate downtime and it really brings me down. I think that's why I've been kind of drained. Like I could do these videos all day long except for the upload time. Um, so it's kind of like bumps in the road and it starts affecting me. And just like with our healing process that we try not to to do the downtime where we allow ourselves to get lazy on certain things, take your shower today or do your dishes. Don't give yourself those bumps in the road that are going to make it harder and more draining. Just have faith. Um, Twist to a positive energy from the negative, and we've talked a little bit about that. And hopefully you're doing okay, Doug. I know you've been having some health stuff. How have you been feeling? And that's what's important is you get better with that because we love you and don't want you to be struggling. So Dog is asking Melissa, hello, how are you? Melissa says hi to Dog. Dog says, I get what you mean. I have the dance app. You can use it from your phone. Ooh, send it over to me. I love dance. You like those dopamine hits. I do. I do. And part of it too is, you know, we have to have a balance of the serotonin and the dopamine. And, a lot of times with the narcissistic relationship, we had so many highs and lows, that we had the extremes. And that's how we got addicted. We didn't have just, the feel good serotonin, the comfort. So it changed us into addiction instead of peacefulness. The narcissist also doesn't like that peacefulness. So they will go to extremes of love or crap. They just want an extreme. Physical therapy was good. Friday, you know what might help you, sister? Um, Attitude adjustment. What's gonna help me? You hit the like button. That's my dopamine hit. That is what helps me. That's all you gotta do. I had far more lies right after the full mask fell. Life bombing? Do you mean life bombing? Um, or lie bombing? I don't think you mean life bombing. Yeah, the lies right after the full mask. There will be an influx of lies after that. There's also going to be an influx of abuse or power control if you're going through a divorce or a custody battle, even just sometimes a breakup, splitting your stuff apart. Um, that's why they say the most dangerous time is after during that breakup period. So definitely protect yourself. You guys know your narcissist better than anybody else. If you need protection, you can contact the police department or sheriff's department for a peacekeeper. Some people do it when the person is not at home. I wouldn't take more than your fair share, but it is something to be aware of. The Calm app. I mean, he came in like a prince and then turned into a he came in like a prince. Wrecking ball, exactly. And that's Yeah. They will too. They will. Ooh, they get so upset. Happy April Fool's Day, says Melissa. Yes, did anybody have any jokes played on them? I stayed home. Oh, it was so funny. I was doing a Myth America. Had my little crown on. I'm wearing this sequined outfit, and my neighbor kid comes knocking on the door, and yeah, I answered the door. I know he's like, "What the hell's wrong with this lady?" Dog says, "I need to speak up." Um, Tell me if you mean you need to speak up in chat or when you're talking about when you're with that person. Go ahead and speak up, girlfriend. And I know you said the you know what I need. April Fool's Day. No, I used to. Yeah, I used to kind of participate a little bit in that, or people used to do it to me. Not so much anymore. Some of the things that people find funny on the internet sometimes bother me. There are some silly things, but when people get like really hurt, a lot of people think it's funny, and all that goes through my head is sometimes practical jokes. You never know. I think about that eggshell skull theory defense. Take your victim as they are. You never know how fragile somebody is. That's a case where I think it was a lamp. Somebody hit them and it like killed them or something, cracked their skull, which was unlikely in the situation, but the person had a very fragile skull and they got a murder rap on it. Um, but people have heart attacks, and how people scare people. I don't know. I saw this baby announcement too, a gender reveal, and they hit a ball and it burst into pink, and that's kind of cool. The mother tosses this baseball filled with color dust, but it also scares me too. Like, she's right in the line of fire. What are you guys thinking? People don't think ahead. Dog says the calm Alp will have. I don't like being calm. I'm calm all the time. I don't like being calm. And also a few other cool 5-minute yoga poses. And that's the thing. I need to learn how to relax. I don't relax. There's always so much to do. And procrastination is something that I struggle with. And that's a defense mechanism. Sometimes we get overwhelmed and I also get distracted. There's other things I wanna do. And sometimes too, that's me exerting control over my life. I need to do something, and I'm not gonna do it because 'cause I'm gonna be the grown up and say, "I don't have to." And I recognize the things I do, you know? Um, and I pay the price for it, when I'm trying to look for something, it's like, "Man, why didn't I just organize?" That's why I stopped doing my costume business. I got so big. I sold worldwide, did really good with it, but I did a lot of traveling, and I had to bring I probably brought 300 yards of fabric every time I traveled, all the different colors and different lengths because I'd make gowns and patterns, and I had everything all organized. But after traveling for years, you just eventually get fed up with it. And I could have kept it more organized, but what happened? Why they somehow they got all discombobulated. I think maybe they fell or something like that. And after that, it was not good. Um, yeah, sometimes we get overwhelmed. Um, the best April Fool's joke I heard of was at a gang detective one. Macho cop, 6'3", always messing with other people and their stuff. Yeah, I actually witnessed, it was 2 sheriffs, and they had, like, a long arm, I don't know what they're shotgun, whatever they're called, a shotgun, and he went into the bar to kinda handle business, and his buddy stole his rifle. So, yeah, I saw that in motion. Ho, ho, ho. Messing with other people and their stuff. Hmm. Yeah, we gotta be careful too, though. Some people start to feel that they're crazy. You know what I mean? Um, so while he was showering, his roommate threw strips of toilet paper all over him. And he was a big white teepeed angry cop chasing the friends. He was butt naked. Yeah, there's times you get so ticked off, you're like, I don't care, I'm chasing after you. Um, oh my goodness. Yeah, that stuff sticks. Or tarring and feathering. That was a mess too when people would do that. Yeah. Do you guys remember toilet papering people's houses? And that's the thing, like, as you get older, you look back and you see the things that you've done to other people, even if it's just toilet papering somebody's house, like the extra work that they had to do. Um, I had my house shot up with paintballs by my daughter's friends. Yeah. And, it causes a lot of extra work for other people. And just like in a certain state of mind, it doesn't process through your head what you're doing to other people. It's just funny. Ha ha ha. And we're starting to get to the point where a lot of people get triggered that sometimes people react to that in a very angry way. So I think nowadays we got to be careful on doing practical jokes on people. People with guns or quick to fight. Um, the mental illness in America or the triggers are on the rise. And we were talking about the isolation and ability to communicate with each other and relate to each other has kind of dissipated. And how do we get this world uh back on track? My friend was just posting something on firearms, things like that, gun laws. And I had mentioned, about the mental illness. And, we can, um, I don't plan on going deeper about gun rights, but as far as the mental illness, that's a lot of what's causing these kind of things, whether they're available or not available. The fact is that the mental illness is causing people to harm other people. And the crazy part is they harm people that aren't even necessarily people that did them wrong. They're just innocent targets. Guilt never helps us, says Dog. My high school friends, ay, 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 my mom, and then all the others in the group. That's who you guys hear. My high school friends had older brothers at Notre Dame Academy, and that means Our Lady. It's French. I'd see them at their houses. I thought they hated me because they blew up my parents' mailbox with some. Yeah, there used to be where people with baseball bats would, what did they call it? Mailbox baseball. I don't know what they called it, but they purposely went through the neighborhood. And we had it. How many did we do? Like nine mailboxes in a year, and having to replace the posts and all that stuff. That can be quite expensive after a while. Um, and what do you mean by guilt never helps us? What do you mean by that? Like the guilt over what we've done as far as reactive abuse? Um, you know, this is a learning lesson, whether we like it or not. This is a learning lesson, and it's going to make us stronger if we take that lesson. Just like if we do a lesson at school, if we process it and complete it, we're better off for it. And I know that's hard, but the narcissist and the new supply. Jeez, we got Easter coming up, and yeah, they're talking about, sorry guys. I leave my phone on because there was one time, and I know it's kind of rude. I know it's kind of rude, but how my daughter uh we had to put her dog down after a big dog fight, and it was the only time I had my phone on vibrate, and I missed it. I set it aside, and that's the thing for me is I don't ever want to miss a call that I need to be there for. So sorry if that annoys you guys. Um Let me catch up for you guys. Debbie says, I was about to leave this morning and out of nowhere the narc started saying to me, text me, you miss me. But as fast as it came on, it was gone. I almost caved in those couple of minutes. And Debbie, this is one thing I do need you to answer for me. Because you say out of nowhere, the narc started saying to me, text me, you miss me. So I want you to tell me if it is him that is saying it or you're replaying his voice. Do you feel it's actually him telepathically telling you those things? Or let me know what you mean by your words. Dog says, I feel guilty, and I'm not going to judge you. I'm just trying to understand you. Dog says, I felt guilty giving them a lot of grief. I was so scared. Years later, they told me, They wanted my attention. I was like, "What?" Oh, I get I felt guilty thing. Guilt got me here. Yeah. And hold on, guys. I gotta do that better. All right. Dark hair. And I see that little emoji. So she was like, there you go. I gotta do your little emoji for you. Um, giving them a lot of grief. Look what you did to my hair. um, see how I blamed you? I'm a narcissist. I know I did to myself. Uh, would you change the ring to a less crazy sound? No, because then I don't hear it. Please. Uh, does that affect my I don't mind doing that for the notifications because it annoys me too. Does that change? I don't know how to do that. That I can do. Um, yeah, because that's super annoying. I don't like it either. Uh, notification sounds. I don't really know how to do it. It's not his voice. Okay, so one thing I want to do, um, no, it's an Android. And I can change that though. Usually I don't get that many messages unless I try to turn the notifications off too, to where they're not like the group text. I don't know. I've never had it happen on a different phone. This phone is crazy how that works. And I have to do that after chat. But so you say it's not his voice. And can you tell me whose voice it is, where this voice is coming from? And then I'll continue on uh, with what I'd like to say to you. Block contact means no contact. Yes. Yes. And Debbie, how have you been? How have you been doing with your days? So I think we're still on track. Um, Debbie says dog defender. I have. And dog says no text, no calls, no, there are 1,000 ringtones. It's my house. I know I need to change it. I'll change up for you guys. If I forget tomorrow, remind me one more time and then I'll immediately do it. But I will try to do that. I will do it. I just hope I do it tonight because I'm probably going to talk till I'm tired. Dog says, Debbie, that means he can't contact you too. I have a meme. I will send Cynthia. I used it as a screensaver to remind me. Ooh. And that's the thing too. Um, it's a man's voice. And do you think this man's voice is from an outside source or from your own thoughts? Do you think it's something from the outside telling you or your own thoughts? 48 days, no contact. And Kaliwi says, ooh, we got good evening to everyone and hi to Cynthia. Thank you. It's so funny that I see those Canadian maple leaves. I believe that's what it is. There was my friend's mom. Um, bought a Canadian maple leaf. It was actually a pot leaf. She bought a pot leaf necklace. And the daughters are like, "What is that?" So, my ears and my cheerleading uniform. Oh, all right. You're my biggest cheerleader. Yes, I know. Go. Go, Sydney. Go, go. Dog says hi to Calibri. How are you? And Calibri says hi to Dog Defender. And you get the rose. Dutch girl gets the tulips. Tiptoe to the tulips. So yeah, please still be my biggest cheerleader. So I'll be the base holding you up. uh oh, you can't hear me? Wait, what do you mean sound, Cynthia? Are you talking about can you guys hear me? Can you hear me? Yes or no? Can you hear me? Are you saying that the sound is bugging you? Let me know by hear no evil, see no evil. Doing fine here, learning about Korean cooking, kimchi and tom yum soup. Is that kind of no sound? Do you guys have sound? So you may need. I think dog has to. Guys, let me know if you can hear me. Can you hear me? Dog needs to relog in because you guys should hear me. I didn't mute anything. Please let me know you can hear me. One sec. I'm a super fast typer. And when okay. Yeah, Debbie, I think that'll solve it. Okay, Kalibi can, yeah, I think there must be something. If you guys ever have, thank you guys. Thank you for letting me know. If you guys ever have problems, sometimes just relogging in, whether it's with me or somebody else. I've noticed that a lot with teaching online. Sometimes just relog in solves the problem. So, um, the tom yum, is that like, what are they even called? Kind of like dumplings. What is it that Chinese food is that I really like? We'll call them yum yums. I can't remember what they're called. You are back. Can you hear me? You should be able to hear me. I think you just had to, you can smell me too. Well, I smell good. I saw the neighbor had a friend come over. She gave me a hug and she's like, "Oh, you smell so good." I'm like, "Oh, thanks." I had a surprise visit from a friend today too. That was really nice. So not only did I have my neighbor kid come over, see me dressed like a princess, like this 52-year-old lady dressed like a princess. But yeah, I had a friend stop over. He was in town for about a half hour. It was really nice. So, oh, dog defender. Thank you so. Oh, that really helps. I appreciate that. That is so sweet. You just made my day. Yep. And there's that dopamine hit. I appreciate that. Look at that. I don't even know how you add those little kisses. So thank you for making my day. Yeah, that's one thing a lot of people don't know is that there are like super chat stickers and all those kind of things. Oh, you bought me a book today. What book is it? Uh-oh. That's cool. I appreciate that. So, I'm looking forward to it. What's the book? Kalibi says, Tom Yum soup is based with coconut milk with spices. I will be making a seafood Tom Yum soup tomorrow with salmon and shrimp. Okay, I'm not a fish eater, so I can is it like a lobster bisque? Not that I eat that stuff, but I can appreciate it. I just are you guys like that too? I don't think anyone knew you were monetized. Yes, I've been monetized. It's been a lot of work though. I have over 1,000 videos and I've made like 125 bucks. So yeah, I appreciate that. I was looking through this one video. What was it? It's one of my top ones. Has like 41 subscribers. 2.4 thousand views, and I think I made 24 cents on that one. It's crazy, and I'm trying to figure out the algorithm because it's not an exact match. I know there are some. I told you guys where I had this one video, my top video over 5,000 views, and per 1,000 views I get $4.40, something like that. I have another one where based on topic, they're paying $125 for 1,000 views, but I've only had 9 views, and depends on how long they watch it and all that stuff. So yes, thank you very much for the support. I would love to do this full time. Because there's so much, like, I think if I talked every day for the rest of my life, there's so much to understand about people. And I do need patience, and slow and steady wins the race. I can help you if you will slow down long enough to hear me. Okay. And you've been a great support though. Dog and I have communicated a lot, and man, she's smart. She is smart. I like the way she thinks, and she's helped me. She's helped me see things from a different perspective. We all need to grow in different ways at times. And, the thing is there is a podcaster you need to speak to. She is killing it. Let me know. Do you know her? Are you able to kind of give a good word for me? And I'm glad I've helped you too. I hope so. I really do, because you've helped me. And that's what's so nice about this is we help each other. I'd love to reach out to that person. And if you have any connections, that would be nice too. I don't even care if the podcast goes on my channel or her channel. Somehow we can split it. I don't mind doing things for free, getting the word out. So I would like to grow this channel because different perspectives too. And each and every one of us has same but also unique experiences. It's amazing how many of us have gone through the future faking and the same kind of abuse. Not all of us have been through physical abuse or sexual abuse, but the way that they handled the lies, the way that they handled the shame and the discard is phenomenally so similar. Kalibi says, what do you think of the indictment? I am worried about my folks in New York City, how this will all pan out this coming Tuesday. Yeah, they had mentioned they think he might be released. I don't know how that would work. He could be released on his own recognizance because he's probably not going to flee the country, but he does have access to jets and stuff. And then he has so much money that he probably could pay whatever bond they may have. I don't know if they're going to do something because it would be so extremely expensive, because I'm sure they won't take away his security, and that's got to be phenomenal. He'll have to have his own area. Yeah, I don't know. I know they had that one lady that was killed during the insurrection. And the protests, if they do a protest, they don't need to be violent, but people get so pumped up. Clibby says, see how a major narco psycho has created a lot of chaos. I am talking about the one who got invited. Yeah. And the thing too is, people also need to be whole on themselves to not quite be so following. I'm not, Dog says, I'm not sure if it is listenable as she is young. Her name is Alex Cooper. I'd never heard about her. I just found this channel called Diary of a CEO. I think you would not only like him. No way. This is Jeffrey Epstein 2.0, as sure as flight risk. Yeah. You think he would be a flight risk? I don't know. I know he's not going to. There were many horribly wounded at the protest. I think we should swim backwards. Sit still. Just wait. The universe backwards. Yes. Can we go in reverse for a little bit? I don't know. He's so whether you like him or not, for politics aside, we're talking about personality. I think he's cocky enough not to think he's going to go to jail. He might not. I know some of the court systems are corrupt. Some judges can be bought. Not all. I can't badmouth them all. But this narco psycho has brainwashed a lot of people, and take a look at the House and Congress, how they still support his whims. Yeah, he's going to have to. It'll be interesting to see. As far as I think what you're asking is as far as the safety of New York City. I think on Tuesday it will be okay if he gets put in jail or found guilty. I think that might be when we need to worry. I don't think Tuesday will be the day that we need to worry. People will probably show up. But I think they will wait for the outcome before they do anything. And is that what your question was? Is the safety of New York City? I know a lot of people like to support these kind of things and go on site. That scares me. Even if it was a peaceful protest, I don't even want to go to those because people are so crazy about things. And I know during the George Floyd thing, they had protests all over Michigan. And there were people joining in. And what was crazy is there's a lot more white people that were doing the destruction. And, um, they were burning people's cars. And this is a crazy thing. The cars that they were burning were probably protesters who drove up there and parked their car to protest. So it's in a sense on their team, but they were just, it was sad. All the police cars that they were burning and bashing things in. And a lot of it you could tell was just for um, attention, like they were showing off. I don't know. You know how you think sometimes about the heaven. I'll turn this down, guys. I don't know if that turns down my notifications, but I can turn it down quite a bit. Quite a bit. I turned it down like 70%. How's that? Let me catch. I'll catch up. Kalibi says, I honestly feel he is a deterrent to society. They should incarcerate him. And Debbie says, you know how you think sometimes about the heavens and how God even ever came about? You start thinking and your mind can only go so far. That's how it has been for me. It's all complex. Help. Any advice? Yes, I can give you some advice. Now, to clarify, are you talking about clarification on spirituality or clarification on the depth of love? Let me know a little bit more clarification on where this rumination is coming from. I can help you with it, but if you can help me narrow down yeah. And Dog is asking if you actually mean God, or the universe. Some people use it in a more general term. So, oops, I'm sorry, this covered up. You're talking about the narcissist. Okay. So, you start thinking your mind can only, so are you asking how the narcissist was created? As far as how they're created, some people religiously think that they might be demons or fallen angels, something evil. And evil can take different forms. Just a cold heart can be seen as evil. Depends on what your definition. Demonic or evil, that can mean a different thing too. But the narcissist's brain, because sometimes, yeah, it just goes on and on and on. You're comparing the two. Okay, so you're talking about the narc and you're comparing the two, God versus the narc. Is that what you're saying? My mind, I like to look at, this is just so you guys understand me and my thought process. I look at everything. So when you kind of give me a question, I look at all the possibilities of what that question could mean. So it kind of helps me. Usually I'm pretty good about pulling, but sometimes um, I pull it outside a little bit more and I could talk about all these different things. So I'm a researcher, and if you could kind of, um, Dog says, Kalibi, the fact that Donald Trump is a narc is the only reason I even got heavily into politics those last years, but I have zero bandwidth left for him, his crimes, administration, antics, etc. I'm fried. Yeah, after a while, you're like, enough. Move on. Let's have happy times. Yeah. Um, we'll have to see. As far as the safety, though, I think we're safe on Tuesday. And this is just my opinion. Doesn't mean I'm right. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see. And I saw too, at first I thought it was just a Stormy Daniels. And then I saw something like 20 charges. Is he facing 20 charges that's going on? But so, Debbie, as far as, we're going to talk about a couple things. As far as, and we got other people in the chat, feel free to communicate. I'd like to help everybody that's in here. You each get your due time. But as far as this voice that you hear in your head, and I'm not saying that this is necessarily you, but sometimes, we have to understand where that voice is coming from. Is it our inner thought processes? Is it a male voice? Maybe somehow it's our mind twisting into like fatherly advice that we hear it as a male voice. We have to be careful too. Women 26 on up are usually prone. To get into a certain breaking point, they might have a psychotic break, become schizophrenic. I'm not saying that's what you are, but the voices that we hear, I have an internal dialogue. I do hear voices when I read. I hear my voice. I talk to myself. I hear my voice. I don't have any personality disorders on that. So these voices could be our own inner thoughts. It could be you. You say it's not him, so it's not you replaying his voice. Um, but as far as the thoughts, we have to understand where these thoughts are coming from. Are they our own? Um, and if not, there might be something deeper that we should look into or you should look into. I'm a certified life coach, but I am not a therapist. I am a coach, not a therapist. I'm certified to teach psychology. Um, but as far as like the narcissist versus God, they're kind of like on two opposite spectrums because or the narcissist sees it as they're one in the same. They become godlike in their own life where they do whatever. They use people as pawns. They will create their own narrative and they do it at all costs. They feel um, like godlike in control of their own life and you see your therapist on Monday. But I've never had this crap until he came along. Yeah. So Debbie says, let me try to explain. It's so hard to explain this. I understand God and all that. But when I try to figure out the narc, I understand he got to be one, but it's overwhelming. It's a male voice. Um, and is that the only voice that, 'cause I had it. It gets tricky, Debbie. I do want you to talk to your therapist about the voices. Um, sometimes, I can see little red flags, but there's also times that people just communicate a different way. So, I know when we go through trauma, that's like, and I'm not saying this is you, it's just something to talk to them about that, men go through it earlier if they're prone to go through it and women later. And it's like a 1% chance that somebody has like split personalities. So antisocial or disassociate, oh yeah, yeah, where your personality, it used to be called multiple personalities. And so usually voices will tell them to do something. So that's why it's like a little, let's figure this out. The fact that it is a male voice instead of your own voice, to me is a little concerning. Like I said, it could be something in your mind thinking it's like a fatherly thing, whether it's grandpa or dad or your uncle. Um, but um, it is overwhelming to understand how somebody could be so cold. And I could sit here and tell you for the longest time, Debbie, the parent just put cigarettes out on their child because they thought it was funny. They thought it would be cool to draw because they love them. They wanted to brand them. They thought it would be cool to put a scar in a heart shape. And you're like, what? And I'm like, it was love. It was a heart. And you're like, they burnt the kid. And you're like, I know, but it was a loving gesture. And your mind is not going to process it, no matter how much I tell you, and it was only for like 2 seconds. The kid healed and you're like, this is stupid. What are you talking about? That when we try to understand the narcissistic mind, our mind is like, what the frick are you talking about? Just like explaining that like cigarette scenario. No matter how much we dive into it, we don't understand it. Like what the fuck? So when we talk about the narcissist and this and that, um, how can you treat somebody like that? How can you not connect with someone? How can you laugh at a dying animal? How can you laugh at somebody who, got tortured? Um, how can you do that to your own children? How can you just leave them? How can you have no regrets after cheating and it just, whatever it is that it's hard to explain. There are certain things that we have to accept as fact, just like um whatever your religion is, that I could sit here and scientifically try to explain it. I can go through whatever Bible, Quran, whatever you guys use, Torah, and I can use every little verse to prove to you. But eventually, you're going to have to come to the point that you're going to have faith because there's only so much you can prove. The other goes to faith. So, understanding our narc, we have to take some of it as fact, and we just have to understand it. Like, we can't process it. Just like if I sit here trying to explain the universe and it just keeps expanding and it never started, it just, your brain is like, I don't understand it. Just like ultraviolet colors. There are colors that we cannot see. Try to comprehend what colors we can't see. And I can call it beluga or balaba. There's balaba color, and it's kind of a mix of this and that. No matter how much I explain, well, it's like a yellow mixed with a orange with a splash of purple. And you kind of mix it in. Your mind is like, and it could be completely wrong. Um, it's really hard to explain. Uh, So he is just a retired law enforcement, still working with Cold Case Foundation. You can look up TIR, the interview room. What is TIR? Teacher in residence. What I was, is that what I was called? Yeah, it was a TIR. And I don't think it means teacher in residence. TIR, the interview room. Let me catch up for you guys. Dog says burnout. You have many New York Police Department friends want their channel so you can get their perspectives. Let me know. Yeah. TIR. I don't know what that would stand for. The interview room. Is that what it means? Oh, duh. That is so funny. I'm racking my brain. What does that mean? I'm like TR and then I continue reading and you're right, the interview room. At least I got it. At least I got it. I'm such a bimbo. That's kind of funny. And that's the other thing I do. I have a habit of not finishing reading until it's too late. I don't know why my camera's adjusting. Hopefully it'll adjust. That was weird. It's so funny. Calibri says he is definitely a narc dog defender. I've come across my first narc a couple years ago. Now I am dealing with a couple down the hall and their minions. A lot of times they do. Why is this so fuzzy for you guys? It just kind of buzzed out. Let me see if that, I don't know. Um, so I don't like how it's fuzzy. Uh, but yeah, they'll have minions. They'll have people following them, doing all their things, kind of like flying monkeys. And Debbie says, "Let me try to explain. It's so hard to explain this." And I feel you, girl. I understand God. I saw that. So Oh, goodness. Dog says he is just a kind retired law enforcement still working with Case Foundation. Debbie, but I've never had this crap happen until he came along and you're seeing a therapist on Monday. So, yeah, it's something completely different. Something so traumatic that it can cause a breakdown. It can cause mental exhaustion or um skewed thinking or during the brain damage that we do get brain damage from it that sometimes with the brain fog that we can't even process things the right way. So it gets real hard. Hopefully you have a therapist. I believe you said um, was you said that they're trained with narcissistic abuse. That's very important. Kalibi says, I have not given up studying about them every day. It's a lifelong task. for me to take care of myself mentally, emotionally, and physically. My faith in God helps me so much. And you'll see that across the board. A lot of people, even myself, believe, that God is a big part in the healing. I've also said too, that when you have a God, some people will put it into the universe, but when you put it outside, it takes some of the pressure off of you. So if you have a God, that trusting in them to help you through this, um, will let you kind of move a little bit more smoothly, a little bit more peacefully, with some confidence. Dog says New York Police Department Ron. He is in New York, retired Ed Wallace and his partner still active training with FBI all over the world. Some of my best friends were in the FBI. We had so much fun. They were from Chicago. And where did we meet up? Florida. Met them in Florida. They were just phenomenal. We ended up becoming friends. It was like a group of us with a group of them, and we went to go see them in Chicago. Really good guys, really good guys. Debbie says, I think I don't like how he has power over me. It's yes, it is called DID now. You are correct. And this is the thing, Debbie. I love you very much. And I get where you are coming and the reasons you are saying this. Okay. Because I can relate to it. He does not have power over you. He does not have power. You gave him that power. And I get where you're coming from. So I'm not discounting your feelings at all, but it's a shift we have to realize. He does not have power over you. You're just weak. Um, you're in a weakened state right now. And I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just reality that it's easier to say that they have power over us instead of saying, I'm kind of in a weakened state and I need to build myself up. It's all perspective. But if you want to heal, you have to look at what you can heal. He's not even contacting you. He's not even contacting you right now. So the things that you are going through are within you. It's not from him. And I get it. Like our minds play tricks on us. Our minds are doing cognitive dissonance. We're trying to find the easier solution. It's easier to say they're hurting me as opposed to I am hurting. And I really want you to think about that statement. Um, he's not even contacting you, and you're giving him that power. He's living rent free in your house, in your head. That we have, and I get it. Like our brains have to process this. We have to go through the 5 stages of grief. Um, so we feel powerless. We feel powerless. That's okay to admit that, but we have to build up our strength. But a lot of times, I get it. I go through that too. I still struggle with that, and we're pissed at them and we want to put the blame on them. But as far as what we're going through today, even though they caused it, they don't have the power anymore. And we have to take our power back. So I hope that makes sense. Um, Dog says, this sounds like me as imagine, like doing a two-person dialogue and hearing both roles. Yeah, we can do that too. So I'm not saying she has, multiple personalities. Sometimes we do that. Should we go roller skating today? No, that's stupid. You might hurt yourself, but I really want to go. Like we could do those things. Doesn't mean we're crazy. Um, so not anyone on my side. It's the narc. It makes me hate him. What do you mean not anyone on your side? That you don't have a support group or n- um not anyone on my side. It's the narc. Let me know what you mean if you're saying because Debbie, I'm going to echo Cynthia for context. Go go for it. Um Dog says, Debbie, I used to wonder, and my therapist said that I needed to stop ruminating. It is like chewing fat. It is addiction to the abuser and trauma bond. There is a practice you can do. And that's true. We have to take our power back and we get stuck in rumination. And I need a rumination. I will try to get that for you guys. Not try, I will. See how I just changed my little wording? Wording is important. Because I will get that for you guys. Kalibi says, because narcs don't have any empathy, no capacity to introspect. Yeah. And they don't give a fuck. Oops, did I say that? Um, no capacity or no desire. And a lot of times they know it's wrong, but they still want to do it. They still want to do it. They don't think about the consequences. They don't think about the other people. Debbie says, I'm not caving. Yes. If he wants me, bring it on. And this is the thing. We should just, depends on where you're at. But if you really don't want to communicate with him more, like if he wants me, bring it on. You're asking him to come to you in a sense, or allowing him to come to you. You can cut communication with that, you know. It's confusing to me. I think it's just so hard to believe that this is happening to me. Yep, and unfortunately, there's a lot of narcissists out there that destroy really good people. And we're going to get you back to being you. Your therapist is going to help alongside with us. Um, Let me know what part is confusing to you, and I can try to help you with that. And I'd like to hear your words first. I don't want to put words in your mouth and go, yeah, that's what I meant. So tell me what part is confusing to you, and we'll dig deeper. And Melissa, if you're still here, feel free to join in. I want to make sure everybody gets, some of their answers, and we have other people in the room too. Feel free to join in. And even if it's a different subject, I'm pretty good about going between different subjects. And Dog says, I taught a blind child. My therapist asked me, can you describe the color blue to your client? That is what you are asking, honey. And my answer, no, I could never teach what the color blue is. And Debbie, this is the narc friend, the one you cross lines with, then he told you he wasn't interested in a relationship. I'm sure there is more. Just asking because I mix people's stories up. Sorry. And Debbie says, yes, you are right, Dog. And oh, if so, Dog says, if so, my best share is please use that energy towards yourself. And where's my check plus plus? Um, Build your boundaries, walks, do things you love a lot. You are possibly addicted. And yes, that's what I see too. And I've been there, addicted to the pain cycle, more power toward healing you. And we do get addicted to the pain because moving on, rewiring our brain is painful. And also, we have to let go. We have to let go of something we loved. Also, we become accustomed to it. I told you guys the story of my grandmother. When my grandmother was passing away, she was at my parents' house and stayed in the dining room as basically hospice at home. And she was there 2 years and then started really passing away. But you get used to grandma being in the dining room and asking, how's grandma doing? And it becomes a pattern. It's something you get used to. And it took me a long time to get that out of my head where coming home from school, how's grandma doing? Knowing she passed away. It becomes a habit. It becomes what you're used to. I was used to asking, how's grandma doing? And sometimes our minds don't process what we're going through. And we had to break that. We had to break it. And Debbie says, how did I give it to him? I asked God to help me. How did you give him the power? We'll talk about that. I asked God to help me. When I ask for God's help, he makes it stop. He was gone before. How did he come back? Um, it's a memory. It's a memory. There's something within you that is missing. And when those things are missing, when our serotonin is low or we're not getting the dopamine hits that we want, we will pull from our inner thoughts. And, when we're lonely, we might be lonely. So we're going to pull up them. They feel like they're the answer or why we're lonely. Like, fuck you, motherfucker. I'm alone because of this, because of you. Or, sometimes we might be jealous. Our best friend just got married. The fuck? What do they have that I don't? And we're kind of happy for them, but we're kind of jealous. And we have to like recognize that it's things that we're lacking that is bringing up these memories. And if we stay connected to people, possibly even give somebody else a new chance when you're ready, um, connect with God a little more. I know my brother, he had the best comeback because I was kind of like, why is your life so perfect? God always answers your prayers. And he had the best comeback. He's like, because I visit him more. And I'm like, oh, I kind of see what you're saying. Yeah, he was more religious than I was. He was very faithful to the church, went there, taught classes, all those kind of things. He was very involved. And sometimes you have to do your part to get your blessings. God's is fantastic, but Kalibi says, Dog Defender, I've been enjoying my discovery of cooking. I know you've been cooking lots of different things, different cuisines. I love the adventure. It's always something new each week. And that's the thing, just like Calibri. Screw all this morning of sadness. Let's just do something different, something we enjoy, something that gives us pride, and something that tastes good, which gives us that serotonin. Dog says today is eviction day, Debbie. Say sorry, I am moving you out. Never say a word to him. Just as a landlord, rent that space to yourself. Use it as an art therapy and dance room in your head. Yep. So art therapy is good, to do some things and get out there and dance and uh, are you saying Debbie says it's not a relative on my side of the family. Are you saying the narc, the person that you're hoping that you've gone 40, what is it, 48 days? Um, and was it like a love interest? Was it I think there was some kind of either hope for a love interest. Refresh our memories. Was it a love interest? Kalibi says, I just can't imagine the narcs focus on observing people all day. Must be a boring kind of life. Um, it keeps them busy. Everybody's different, like there are people who love to be private investigators. They love sitting out there. They get a kick out of just, kind of chilling until they see something. They get that adrenaline rush. You might find that boring. You might think that's the worst job in the world. So narcs, that's where they get their fill, spying and sometimes too, there's certain jobs that we do because we feel we have to. So they might feel that they have to stalk us or go through our stuff or, curiosity killed the cat. Dog says it's also because Debbie, you are so focused on him, you can't allow any other thoughts to work with. Yeah, that's a hard transition. It will happen, but um, it's difficult, But the main thing is taking our power back, accepting, and really deciding: do we, are we ready to let them go? And I'm not sure you're ready to let him go. Is the thing that worries me. Um, you know. It's sometimes hard to accept reality. It is, just like if you had a child die. Like I can't imagine having to let them go. He oh, so this is something that's really hard for you, and I understand it, but uh, mourning isn't going to bring the relationship back. Just like if I was to mourn, my miscarriages, it's never gonna get me pregnant. It's never gonna have me a baby, you know, or replace the one that I lost. So we need to mourn for a little bit of time. We have to cope with it, but it's not gonna change anything. So the longer we stay in that, the longer we're missing out on happiness, you know. Um, Kalibi says these two idiots that paid perfectly timed my driving out of the parking lot area as if I didn't notice. I just ignored their stupidity. They love, timing it. Are you sure you guys just don't go to work at 9 AM and it just so happens that you guys go to work at the same time? Like, if you go to the grocery store, do they come at the exact same time too? Um, huh. Yeah, sometimes it's really perfect though. Like, this a little too perfect. If it's dog says narcs don't, in my opinion. Kalibi only when they sense a threat, otherwise they focus on themselves. Roll call, please. So yeah, everybody who is here. We got some people still here. And um let's see. So we got Debbie, Dog, and Calibri right here that I can see. So we'll talk for a little bit longer. Um so yeah, it depends on yeah, they're not going to be completely obsessed with somebody else's life. They are more concerned about their own. Um, Kalibi says, I think they feel a threat with my body cam. And oh, you got a body cam. You go. And other high tech gadgets focused on their actions. Oh, yeah. So that'll keep them. Do you really wear a body cam? Oh my goodness. You must really not feel comfortable around them. Dog says, Kalibi, you are my favorite kind of person. Kalibi says, thanks. And dog says, oh, do tell. I need to switch earbuds. Okay. Ingrained. Um, it is okay. Calibri says, I have a dash cam inside my car that takes videos of anyone who will attempt to vandalize it. Yeah, I wasn't sure if you meant car or a body cam. Dog says, okay, you must have a ride you want to protect. Good for you. Yeah, he just got a new fancy car. I don't even know. Is that considered SUV? He just got it just 2 months ago. Was it 2 months ago? A nice beige. Can't remember what it was, but he spent a good dollar on it. So Kalibi says, I have a cam inside my home to detect any kind of mischief or intrusion and traditional hotel locks where I'm in my place. Huh. That's kind of a good idea. Dog says, do you have any hobbies, church groups, anything you can switch focus on? Have I heard of the crime box? Dog is asking. I don't know. It's not ringing a bell. Tell me what that is, and I can let you know for sure. It's not ringing a bell. Crime box. Debbie says, I have hobbies, painting rocks, and I am family oriented. So maybe we can set up something. I don't know if you celebrate Easter, but Easter is coming up on Sunday. Maybe you can, maybe maybe make some dessert and have people come over for some coffee and cake on Easter, something like that. Reconnect with the people. Kind of helps you give some motivation for getting your house in order and getting all dressed up. And when I say dressed up, just even a nice sweatshirt and jeans as opposed to, um, I don't know what you wear, but getting dressed up. So Kalibi says, these narcs are 2-year-old toddlers we are dealing with, so consequences are in place if they do anything wrongful. There you go. Yep, you get a spanking. Wouldn't that be nice if we could just don't spank people? But I'm just go to your room. 5 minutes. We could send people to. Wouldn't that be funny? You're at a bar. There's a big old bar fight, and you tell somebody to go to their room for 15 minutes, and they gotta go sit out. Dog says, Kalibi, if you mean the triangle lock, not safe. Watch the video of Ellen Green flipped up. Oh, Greenberg. Recently, the police show exactly how that lock can be opened from the outside. Was that with the rubber band? Uh, hold on. I love you, dog. So one hand, okay. So dog, dog wasn't it his relative? I should do that every time you guys talk. Wasn't it his relative you thought was on your side and told you everything also, and then recently found out her loyalties were with him? Dog says, Cynthia, context. There was a message before. Take 1 minute at a time to think about anything else. Right now, it's like being a dry drunk, if that makes sense. Step by step progress. And ask yourself, was this a perfect person for me? Exactly. And then Debbie says, you want me to do that so we know who's talking? Debbie says, I felt that trauma bond today. Yep, we will feel it. I got mad at myself. We were friends until we both crossed that line. It was all verbal, not physical. And yeah, miscarriages are not fun. So I'm sorry for that. That's hard to go through. So, were you hoping for more? Were you hoping for more? Um, or did he feel like maybe a father figure? Like somebody you relied on, trusted with their opinions? Because that it's an extra strong bond between just friends. Um, and I'm wondering if there was something a little deeper, like maybe a father figure type for you or a romantic interest, um, even if you didn't consciously know that or something. I don't know. And it's just speculation. So that's why I'm asking. Dog says, I will send Cynthia some pictures of really cool rocks my neighbor is painting. Very cool mandalas. I even graduated to pots. Oh, there you go. That would be cool. Those are beautiful. And Debbie says, I guess it's hard for me to let go. I don't have any other choice. And that's where we're at. You know, it is hard. It is hard. It's something we don't necessarily want to do because we're like, duh, all we have to do is say sorry and handle it differently. You know, like we see it logically. Like, does it have to be this crappy? But they're just going to keep doing their own thing. So that is code for no solo therapy kids. Oh, what is code? I missed it. What is code for no solo therapy kids? What did I miss? I don't know what you mean by that. I'm sorry, I missed it. Ask yourself, what is this perfect person for me? Was this a perfect person? Um, and Dog says, Mia, if you come back, miss seeing you. She was here earlier. She was here earlier. And Dog says, Melissa, if you are here, hey, good to see you. And yeah, they I think popped out. Hopefully they're still here. It show actually this is what gets confusing is when I see the participants, maybe they're not subscribed. You guys are welcome to be here. So maybe that's why I'm not seeing who is who. Maybe it's only showing me subscribers, but you guys are welcome to be here. If you guys would like to chat, unfortunately, I had to do it where you have to subscribe because of all the harassment that we went through. That was pretty insane. So I had to change it over to subscribers only. I'm not trying to do that for subscribers. It just kind of is necessary because of the harassment that we went through. And Dog says, Kalibi, tell us about the car. Dog says, Abby, it is hard for everyone to let go, but millions have successfully and can attest to that. It is worth it. Dog says, oh, where did it go? Dog says, put on lipstick and just call it a day. I wish it was that easy. Yeah. Yeah, just some lipstick. That's all we need to do. Fresh start. Kalibi says, one has to bear in mind we are dealing with mental cases, so protect yourselves. That's true. Like I'm not really afraid of people, but when drugs, alcohol, or mental illness, that's when I'm afraid of people. You know, because they're unpredictable. That can be quite scary, and I'll agree with that. Good, good point. That's when it's survival mode, or paranoid thinking, or unclear thinking. Debbie's or Dog says, Debbie, it is a circular agreement you are having. There are no answers, just tons of questions. So allow yourself time for the grieving. Set a timer. I think she wanted more, if I'm remembering. It feels like she wanted more. It does feel like you wanted more, whether it was subconscious or conscious. That's what it feels like. So there might be something to that that you want to delve into. Is it more of a broken heart from um, something more than just a friendship? Debbie says, I'll talk to my therapist on Monday. Maybe it's time for a new game plan. Oh, not a father. He's younger than me. It was a love thing. Okay. It was. Yeah, I thought so. It was a love thing. It seems like a love thing, how connected you were. Um, and that's the thing, like, even, there are some people, sometimes when they're younger, they're still more parental than, if you're naive like me. I could have a 4-year-old going, "This is what you need to do." Just teasing. He set me up and then enjoyed seeing me fall. Man, that's hard. That is hard. Um, yeah, that is hard. But we have to remember too, though, this is where our self-esteem needs to kick in. We need to do the "fuck you, motherfucker. You did that to me. You're done." As opposed to, "I know you did it and it hurt and I didn't like it, but can we try again?" Like, that's where our self-esteem needs to go. I did not deserve that, and I will never let you have that opportunity to do that to me again. Because if they did it once, most likely they're going to do it again, unless he changes. But, in 48 days, he has not put in any effort to even see how you're doing, to apologize. Um, and that hurts. That hurts. But, you know, I take it as a compliment that you're too strong for him, that you're gonna call him out on it, uh, whether it's just, "So you really hurt my feelings, and why did you do that?" Um, you're gonna ask him for accountability, you know, and he doesn't like that. You're kind of standing up for yourself when you're asking for clarification, and that's a strength. And if it was somebody who cared about you, they would give you that time of day for you to say, "Look, that really hurt me," as opposed to "shut up." um and look at those words too, your own words. uh Enjoyed seeing me fall, not watched me fall. Enjoyed seeing me fall. So when we see the words that we write, that's crucial right there. It's not like we broke up and he didn't care I was crying. However you want to word it, we're going to use the word breakup, end of relationship. We ended the relationship and enjoyed it, enjoyed my pain. Not just didn't do anything about it, but enjoyed it. So those are your own words. And if somebody enjoys having you in pain, they're not just overlooking and not understanding. Like, there's times it's like, "Whoa, I didn't understand I hurt your feelings. I didn't understand." But if I'm enjoying it, I understood. So Kalibi says you've got to be 10 steps ahead of these narcs to play their dangerous game. Yep. What time is it, Mr. Fox? 10 o'clock. Yeah, don't play that game. Debbie says, him change. Oh my God, that's a good one. Yep, I'm a comedian. So he's never changing. He told me. And we have to take that as truth. So if he's not going to change, end of story. He enjoys seeing you hurt. It's different if he regrets that. Um, he's not going to change. He enjoys seeing you hurt. He's not trying to make things better. And we're sitting here crying, and I've been there. So I am not invalidating your feelings, because I've been there. I get it. But we have to really look at the big picture. And I wish there was somebody there to tell me what this big picture was. A lot of times too, people are like, "Just get over it," or "You're stupid for staying," or "He doesn't care." But when you get into it deeper, when you really pick apart, he enjoyed seeing me hurt. That alone should say, this is not the person to be in your life, whether it's a friend or love interest, mentor, whatever. If they enjoy seeing you hurt and they set you up, not he let it happen and it fell apart, he set you up, that's 2 red flags right there. So I'm glad you're no contact. Uh, he's never changing. I did several times, but it doesn't do anything. That's why I'm no contact now. And that's what's going to keep you sane. Otherwise, you're just going to, if you get healed and you entertain being with him again, you are going to go through this cycle 5, 10 years from now. And you know how devastating it is now. Um, it's not worth it. It is not worth it because it lasts. Sometimes it takes decades to get over your person. It took me over 2 decades with my first one. 2 decades. 2 decades. Doesn't have to take that long. But it took me that long because I was in constant abuse. I had a daughter with him, had to, deal with him, but then I had court orders where I couldn't deal with him, and I had to, like, conflicting, like, constant stress, and I just wanted him to make it better. So, like, can't we just communicate? And it was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. Um, and the utter control they had over your life. So play it safe. Yeah. Dog says, Debbie, my friend Tia has battled AML for almost 1,200 days. Her mantra to me every day was, we can do hard things. I promise you this has gone with me through so many years, so much abuse. It does work. And they are sadistic, some of them are just selfish, but some of them actually enjoy the pain of others. And it sounds like yours is sadistic. Yours is sadistic, not just selfish, sadistic, enjoying that pain. Um, so Debbie says, dog defender. Yes, they are. And we're going to do just a few more minutes. If there's something you guys need to say or address tonight, please let me know. I'm starting to get a little tired. Dog says, agree. This is a sick, toxic person. The best you have given yourself is the gift of dumping a toxic person. Yeah, we got to remember, we're our own best friend. Are we watching out for ourselves? Debbie says, he kept saying, I lead you on. What, does he want a gold star? I know. Yeah, it's almost like a bragging. Like, I led you on. Or it's even like, I knew I was hurting you. I knew I was hurting you. Debbie says, I'll send him one. LOL. Cynthia had to. Dog says, he sounds like a little brat saying, I want sex. Is that what you mean? SEC? Probably sex because the C is right next to the X or whatever. Knowing you liked him, then pulling away, feeling the power imagined by hurting someone. Sometimes too, they take it in the moment and then they're like, oh fuck, what did I just do? And it's not necessarily that they have regret, like, oh, I broke her heart. It's like, now she's going to stick around. Did I want this as a relationship? It's not, it's on them. Now, how do I get out of a commitment? They are like animals. Yeah, they can be like animals, that's for sure. Just want to devour souls. Kalibi says, the narcs in my building know that people avoid the hell out of them. No one pals around with them. They know they are unlikable. And that's why they probably stick together. There's a little group of them. Debbie says, I hope he enjoys the lake of fire. And, this is what I would hope. You do not have to do it because a lot of people feel exactly what you feel. But I would release the anger in a different way instead of revenge or hoping for pain on him. Let that unfold. That's not up to you to, this is just my perspective. And sometimes maybe I should shut up, but I don't want that hate in your heart. And I don't want you enjoying somebody else's pain. So that's up to you. I know it's hard what we went through. That's a coping skill to want that. I still want my ex to break up with, so I'm not perfect. But that's just, I'm being honest, I get where you guys are coming from. I still have thoughts that I try not to have. So it's up to you what you do with that. Dog says, Tomcat, it is their issue with their personality. Very true. Dog says, Debbie, never wish harm on anyone. Wish him well, cut the ties, and move on. And Dog says, I agree, Cynthia. Thank you. Yeah, I just think it's changing who we are. I don't want to be a bitch. I don't want to wish somebody ill, you know. And Debbie says, I just realized the other day I have anger for him. And that's good. That's part of the grieving process. We get angry. That's good. You can be angry. I'd be more angry at the situation. And that's part of the healing process. So take that as we need to be angry about it, and then we need to accept it. You're out of the denial stage. Um, the bargaining, if I do this, can I have that? If only this, can I have him back? Or if I don't contact him for 20 days, can you have him call me? Bargaining with the devil or God or whoever you want to say it is. But you've made a lot of progress if you're angry. So that's okay. Let's accept it now. And that's the next step. And then you're good. So, and I'm glad you realized that too. Cleve says, let them out themselves. I have lots of adventures in my life that I'm looking forward to doing. Yeah. And just start looking, instead of us crying all the time or getting stuck or ruminating or not calling our friends because, or occupying that friendship with just talking about our person, that we start living life, live in the moment. Dog says, not only that, let me ask you a true question, Debbie. How Christian is that sentiment? What would Jesus say to you? Yeah. And, we ask, I believe it, I believe it was you that said you asked God. I know Melissa said that, so maybe I'm mixing it up. But if we ask God, God, please let this, and then we're full of hate, it's kind of not matching up, So just remember that too. If we want God to work within us, that we have to release some of the negativities. The more pure, open-hearted we are, the more he can fill us. So we got to let him in and let some of that out. Crime box. Dog says, can we talk about it quick, or I can tell you later? Go ahead and tell me. I'll stay up a little bit. Yeah. Debbie says, I know we talked about it yesterday. Dog says, it is like asking God to join a gang. I knew you'd do all these emojis. I would have bought a better wig. Do I have a black one? This is supposed to be my boy wig. It didn't turn out right. That's my boy wig for my. I got a Cruella de Vil. Where's my long red hair? Crime box. What is crime box? They never told me what crime box is. I have long, high side part hair. All right. This was over a little bit further. Here we go. You ready? Hi. There we go. So, Dog, go ahead and tell me, what would you like to say? This is Dog. I'll read her. Make it any color. There you go. Yes. All right. So go ahead. What would you like to say? Let's have some fun with this. I don't even know where this goes. Best $20 I spent. There you go. Thank you. You're welcome. So go ahead and tell me what you like. What do you think? You're gonna have no subscribers at the end of this. All right, Dog. So what is this crime thing that you were talking about? I should get a wig for each of you guys. Picture an old-fashioned recipe box. Get 3x5 cards. Okay. 3x5 cards. A crime box. Okay. I think I know where this is going. And then what? We write down all the crimes that they did against us, all the crappy times. Is that what this is? Kaliwi says, oh, you don't like my hair? Is that why you're signing off? Kaliwi says, have a restful evening, everyone. We'll watch my favorite telly in a minute. Okay. Well, thank you for joining in. Sorry my hairdos scared you away. Lots of love to you. It's always good having you. And we will be doing live chat next weekend, Friday, probably Saturday. Saturday depends. I guess I'm the cook of the Easter dinner across state. So Friday for sure we'll be on. Um, so is that what you're talking about? Thank you, Calibri, for joining us. Is that what you're talking about with the 3x5 cards where you kind of write down all the crap that they did to us? And we got about 5 more minutes before I log off, guys. Debbie's saying goodnight. Dog says the way to do this is you on front side of the card write one issue like fight or horrible memory. Okay. And we got to hold on, Debbie. We got to hear this, and then we'll log off. We're gonna log off in like 2-3 minutes. If you can hang in there, if not, I understand. It is getting kind of late for some of us. So I want to know, dog. You write on the front side of the card, whatever the issue is, or horrible memory, and on the back side, write the details. And sometimes too, we can have like a little collection, a little reminders when we're thinking about things. Is this worth what we're going through? And Debbie, good. Yeah, let's see what she has to say. Write down every single crime ever. Stick every crime in the box. Yeah. And I have a feeling it's just a collection, and we could tell how dangerous somebody else or somebody is too based on their record. So we're developing a record, then add whenever a new memory pops up. Ooh, sometimes too, yeah, just releasing it, getting it out there, lets us process it. And I'm thinking this is what you're kind of saying. That's why with the journaling, you can write down all the things that were wrong and, do we forgive them? She continues, dog says, every day write down something you wish you could experience. Whitewater rafting, guys. I did do that once before. I love it. Want to do it again. Water slides. I like those too. Elaborate on the back. Yeah. And that's the thing too, how they talk about living in the moment where, I want to go to Florida. No, I want to feel the warmth on my back. I want to feel the sand beneath my toes. I want to see this. I want to feel the water brush against my skin. Like really experience every moment and pay attention to the details. What was the breeze like? What were the scents? And experience as much of every experience. Dog says, keep the boxes apart. The goal is to have a full box of happy, dream filled thoughts to go for an experience. There you go. Yeah, and sometimes too, redirecting, have it on a different side. Excellent. The crime box is used for when you feel weak. Ooh, yeah, and that'll build you up. Like knowing, I you go pull as many cards. Hmm. Yeah, and that's the thing too. When Debbie, when you go to counseling, there are different techniques too. I'll try to add some more techniques for you guys too. I did about 10. But journaling is one of them. This crime box sounds like it would be good. Ask yourself, do you want to live this life or that life? And it's a different perspective. And I like that you separate them too. So excellent advice, dog. Thank you. Or do I want what that beautiful box full of dreams is? Perfect. Perfect ending. Thank you, dog, for that. Yeah. What life do we want to live? We had the power to get it. Debbie, let us know how your therapy goes. Your crime box is in the garbage. Yeah. Eventually you're just like, screw it. I'm over it. I'm strong. I'm healed. I am living the life that I want. That is a memory. I can dispose of it now. Perfect. Lots of love to you guys. Dog, that was an excellent thing to share. And I'll be available by messages. And we will see you on next Friday. Decoys say my mantra, we can do hard things. Yes, love to you. Thank you. And thank you. Love to y'all. And you will. Awesome. Lots of love, guys. See you soon. Please hit that like button, share with people that it might help, and I'll see you soon. Bye, guys. See you guys soon.